Hello everyone, I am Kronos. Yesterday I uploaded a video that wasn't shot yesterday, but it was shot a few months ago, but it was in the snow and it's very beautiful. It was, and also it was intended for this channel, so it was supposed to be the first video. It's presented as such. And there is also another one, I think, that I may upload at some point. So where's the so I was thinking a lot about finding, what motivates you, right? We talked about that, love and what to love, and but it doesn't have to be all that. No, wait, let me put it. There are other things that can motivate you that are not a result of your actions. For example, when you help people, right? So you might not realize that's what's motivating you. For example, like if when a mother takes care of her child, she does it out of love, right? But she feels better about her, like it makes her feel good helping, like taking care of her child. It's not a profession or a hobby, it's being able to take care of someone else. And why I bring this up is because we talked about find something you love, and it doesn't have to be a hobby or like a profession, or it doesn't have to be something specific that you do. It should be the drive behind it, which is love. So maybe making food could be something, the way that you express love, and it could be the best way for you to show that appreciation and get that motivation through that. So it's not confined to an activity, and so I'll bring you a story about my former landowner where I used to live, and I used to live in a, how would you say, an apartment, but it's connected to the landowner's house. It's like it's in his house, in his vicinity. So they were living basically next to me. They were my neighbors. My landowner and his family were my neighbors, right? And so, long story short, he doesn't get, his wife and him they don't get along, and they fight, and I had to experience it because they were literally in my backyard, and I could hear them all the time, yelling, angry, all the time, all the time, all the time, just angry all the time. And I would hear them both. And well, I lived there for a while, and we talked a little bit. I talked with him. Well, not exactly about that. He would like to complain to me about, he would like to, well, I shouldn't say complain, but spill his heart out a little bit about the situation. You know how when you talk to someone and he's like, yeah, what's up? And he's like, oh, the wife, and like, that way of speaking. And so we always, well, I got to experience it firsthand, like, because I was always there. It was literally, and they have kids, but with the wife, we got really connected, like on that level, that she would tell me, she consult with me all the time. This is just one example, right? Why I'm doing this channel, because of people like this. She spilled her heart out to me many times, and she, up until today, still will message me once in a while, asking me for advice. So just, well, really telling me, basically asking for support, for advice. She's telling me everything, and really personal stuff, how stuff are going, and how she is feeling about it, and how frustrated she is, and I'm not taking sides, right? My goal is to reconciliate with them, and maybe help them find love, right? Find the love that they lost. I guess you could say that, in a way. The love that they forgot. Why they got together, right? That's what you need to remember. And what you love about the other person. Is it love that got you together? And so she will, well, once in a while I will get a message from her. It's been probably over years now, like 2 years, maybe 3 years, probably. And she's telling me how she's so frustrated, and she is also the situation in my country is bad, and with all the things going on, the war and everything, it's not just scared, they develop a real existential fear. They develop, how would you say, well, they become I forgot the word. She's just very jumpy and irritable and very scared and frightened. And so she's very dramatic and emotional. And her temperament is a lot more fiery, you could say. His is a lot more quieter. He's a lot quieter. He's a lot calmer. And he doesn't know how to handle her when she's emotional and very expressive, and he doesn't respond in the same way. He responds in a very at first, right? So when someone is emotional and like expressing their anger at you, they're basically trying to get your attention, right? She feels, this is what I explained to her, that he doesn't care because of his demeanor. And I told her he's just different, and the fact that because he's frustrated, and that's the word I was looking for. No, it's not, but he's frustrated. He doesn't know how to respond to her episodes, you would say, and she takes it as non-caring, like he doesn't care. And that miscommunication was out of control, and they fight, and it becomes way too much. Like, married couples should not be having these fights, not at that rate, and not at all. And so she would be frustrated about something, complain about it, or he would, and she will try to get his attention, try to get him to do something or listen or whatever it is, and he would respond nonchalantly, like, like he's like more carefree guy, and she's more very not carefree, very a very worrying person. She worries about everything, which is excuse me, explain it's understandable because of the situation she lives in. Whatever, we're not judging, it's not about that. It's about we have different personalities, and some people are very emotional, and some people are more sensitive, and some people are really live in fear, and when they try to get attention and they don't get it, it turns to anger out of frustration from not getting that attention. It's very common. She and they are like opposites in that way, and it could work for their benefit, but it doesn't. It works not in their benefit, against them, because of that lack of understanding. So I told her, because you have to understand, she is a very, very critical, like, they have kids and it's disastrous, and they have like a few kids and it's disastrous, like they are fighting all, like they cannot get along. She's not at this point. I will not go to too much detail because that's not the point. The point is, what I told her is, because he does respond, he does fight, he does do things, he does work and bring money, and maybe some people may think that doesn't count, but it does. He's there, he provides, and it's also unappreciated, right? I'm trying to see it from both sides. So she feels unappreciated and unseen, and that he doesn't care, and he feels unappreciated for what all that he does, taking care of also the garden, and he does, like, they do their jobs as parents, and they both, so that's why they're together, because of the kids. That's why they're still together, but they can't stand each other. You would ask what would be better. I mean, there are little kids, but they're very little, like some of them are really little, like a few years. I'm not sure exactly the ages, but maybe 7, maybe, I don't know, but they're young, and even the older ones are like 14, 15. So what do? Do you stay together? Do you separate? And it's always about the kids, and that's the beautiful thing about it. They stay together because of the kids. So that's beautiful, right? That's love. So I told her, remember that. And I told her, it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to. It can change. Like, it seems lost to her. It seems like a lost cause and there is no way. But that's the beauty of it. It's not. There's always a way. There's always, because you don't have to fight. You can not love it, like you cannot be together, you can be, but why do you fight? It doesn't have to get to attacking each other. But I told her, this is another important aspect. It's not, you should worry. This is what I told my ex-girlfriend. I believe I told her that, but I told her, well, if we fight and you hit me, let's say you hit me, I don't mind. I would rather take that 10 out of 10 times than you ignoring me, or like acting or not caring. Like I would start worrying when you don't respond, when you don't care. That's when you should worry. So I told her the fact that they are still emotional about each other means two things as well as the other part. First of all, they still care about each other, because otherwise you don't care, you don't get angry. Second of all, that's an important part, right? They care about each other. So there is still love. And I told her, anger is a way, or hate, because she feels like she hates him, right? And if he feels like he hates her at this point. So I told her, hate is a means to regain that love, refine it, reignite it. That's why hate exists. So when you say that, you're basically just misinterpreting yourself. What you mean to say is, I love you, why don't you love me back? You're supposed to love me, something, right? And so that's a good thing that they fight in a way. because it shows that they still care. When they distance themselves, that would be when I would be worried, and I would say, yeah, there is nothing to fight about. And it shouldn't be even a fight, you know. You don't have to like each other, but there is no reason that you attack each other every day. It's bad for everyone. Not you, the kids, everyone lose. No one wins. It's a lose, lose, lose. It's like everyone, and there is no reason, no real reason for it. But it's also an indication. So you should do something about it. Our emotions are very smart in a way, in that way that they, if you can actually listen to them and understand their true meaning, you can make changes to improve your life and the relationships and everything around you, and of everyone around you too. But you have to look within. So I told her, first of all, if you want quiet and you want to find peace, you have to look within. You can't find it outside. And if he is doing something you don't like, it doesn't have to make you angry. It doesn't have to make you mad. You don't have to attack him. You don't have to go all out. You can control it. You are in control. It doesn't have to be this way. Understand this. If you're angry and you say you hate him, you actually love him. And you can't stand him and his family. You don't want to be around him. That's how far it has gone, that you are missing that love that you so need. And I know that, I mean, you can talk to people and you can see, I mean, she just wants love, you know? She just wants to be able to, like, be heard and taken care of, and like and him too. That's the thing. It's both of them, and they just don't see it. It's, for me, from the side, it's easy to see. That's why I try to show them how it really is objectively, and that it doesn't have to be that way. So I told her, next time he yells at you, for example, or that you feel like he did something that makes you angry, understand that you have a choice. You can react with that anger and you can attack him and start that cycle again, or you can choose to make a change, and it is in your hands and it is in your power. You have to catch yourself in the moment that you're angry and you want to attack him, and you say no, and you realize that being angry is like drinking poison and hoping the other person dies. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't work. You're only hurting yourself. So, and you are in control, even if he does something that you feel like makes you angry. It doesn't have to make you angry. And if you don't get angry, you will not attack him and he will not attack back, and you can change everything. You don't need him to change. You can change yourself. That's how you make a change, right? So first of all, be happy in a way, weirdly, that you fight and you don't, and that he does respond in that way. It means there is something there that's worth looking at. Otherwise you wouldn't care. And secondly, appreciate what you like, the fact that you are in control, and understand it so that you can make that change. Don't try to change him. Because I mean that's what we all always try to do. We blame the other. But I told her we are merely reflecting how we feel about ourselves. And if something makes you angry, it's something you need to fix about yourself. It has nothing to do with him. Worry about making yourself better, improving yourself, growing. Forget what the other person is doing. You can care, you can show love, you can support, you can motivate, you can do a lot of things to help. But first take care of yourself. And I told her, you have an obligation. I mean, you have kids, love yourself first. That's what we keep going back to, right? Love yourself first. That's how you show true love. Otherwise it turns into this egoistic battle, like this married couple, which unfortunately, that you already know, that's really, really common, like extremely common. That happens. I mean, look at the divorce rate. Look at the divorce rate. It's crazy. I need water. So it's also a matter of perspective. Once you understand that when someone is yelling at you, angry with you, and you understand it comes from a place of caring and frustration, that you don't show it back, and you understand, okay, you can look at yourself and be like, because you don't want to make someone you love feel that way, right? And if you hurt them and you realize that, you can be like, you can reflect and say, okay, I'll change that. And you show that care to them, and they won't feel that way, and they won't be, you can fix that. You can fix it. You can make them feel good. You can make yourself feel good with them. But it has to start within. It has to start with you. Don't try to change someone else. Change yourself and how you react. Make yourself, there is a saying, be perfect before you judge another. I don't understand. I don't remember exactly the sentence, the quote. But before you judge another, let's say it's my quote then. Before you judge another, make sure you are perfect. Right? Because if you're not, who are you to judge? And when you understand the true motivation behind someone's emotions and actions, and you realize it all stems from, eventually it's all a need, and that everything that they toss at you is a reflection, and that goes for love too, then you don't take it personally. And then when you don't take it personally, you don't have to react. You don't react emotionally. You don't react. Well, not. You don't react. You can. You don't react. You respond. You choose your response. That's the lesson. And you have to catch yourself in the moment. And for that, you have to first realize there is something to catch. You need to know there's a treasure out there before you go out sailing, right? And you need... So, the first thing to do is look within. And instead of judging, understanding. That's what you need to do. Instead of judging the other person, try to understand where he's coming from, even though, and it's hard, it's not easy, otherwise everyone would do it. But once you do, this is why I'm sharing this information, because I believe that you can make that change, and if maybe someone can learn from it like I did, because I learned from my experience and other people's too. This taught me, like watching this, seeing this, being a part of it, in a way that I am being shared. Makes me appreciate other stuff too, and I can take that into my own life and see where it happened and where I was mistaken in the past and mistook hate for like bad, or and so that's a good lesson. It's a really good lesson to learn. It can help you regulate your emotions, which is extremely important. And it can help you grow in ways that, for many people like myself, I know this because from my experience, it can be extremely hard, extremely hard to, because when you're angry, you don't think rationally. And many times you let go of that anger on other people. And when you do, they might respond back, and then it can spiral. See, when you're like sad, for example, you might go into your room and be like in your thoughts, and you might spiral that thing in your mind, right? But when you do it with other people, you also might destroy the relationship, and not only that, you could cause them, like you are participating, and it really, it's really hard to come to rational thinking when you're angry. And then you many times you do things that you regret, and you say stuff that you regret, and then going back and apologizing takes courage that you have mistaken. It's a hit to the ego, and many people are unable to do that, and so the relationship stays broken, and things that should have been said are not said, and things that shouldn't have been said are said. And it's very unfortunate, because so many things, so many relationships were destroyed for nothing, just for the heat of the moment. Marriages, family broken. I hope someday someone watches this and maybe this helps him realize about himself that it gives him that insight, maybe. I mean, that's why I'm doing this. It's not about my neighbors, they're just an example, right? And everyone that I'm bringing are examples, so that of lessons I learned and how I learned them, and what I learned and how I think about. I am Kronos, and that's the mindset we need to learn and know that we are gods, immortal gods. We never die. This is just temporary, this body. And I have nothing better to do than talk about creation. Let me tell you something. Once you start exploring your own soul, nothing else matters. Nothing else. That becomes the ultimate and the most. You don't care about anything else. Once you find God in a way, that's part of it, you know. It's easy to talk about our strengths, but our weaknesses and where we lack and where we need to improve, that's the hard part, and that's the part worth looking at. And admitting when we are wrong. Imagine if she would go up to him or he would go up to her and apologize. That changes everything. And I will give stories about this too, personal stories. I have an anger problem. Today, could you call it a problem? I don't know. At this point, I don't really get angry much. Not even close to what I used to. But it happens from time to time, you know? But not even remotely close. And I have learned to apologize, and it fixed so many relationships and makes so much easier. And you know, to just be and not think about, especially when you have a conscience and you're not trying to hurt people close to you. Your soul acknowledges that it's wrong, and if you're connected to yourself, you will hurt. I'm not trying to hurt. I hurt enough. Trust me, I hurt a lot. And I still do. I still escape a lot because I can see everything. That's why I am Kronos. Now, so what is the lesson for today? Fighting is good. When you're someone who loves you, fights you, you should acknowledge that, first of all, it's something that they have to do with themselves. Don't take it personally. Secondly, appreciate it. They care about you. Thirdly, make that change. And it starts within you, and it has nothing to do with them. So if they get under your skin, it's because you care about them. It all goes in a circle, right? It goes back. And that's the beautiful thing about life. You should appreciate it. And when your significant other fights you, realize they care, appreciate it. Next time they attack you, realize it's not personal, it's not real hate, and ask about how they're doing. Like, be genuine about it instead of taking it personally. Show concern, show love, show that you care. 99% of the time that will be the fix. Show that you care about them. And it will be a shock for them to what the hell? Like, imagine that you started complaining like the usual, and you're like, instead of attacking back, but I did this and I did that, and you go, first of all, I'm sorry that I made you feel that way. I truly did not mean to do that. I hope you understand. And what can I do to fix it? And if it's something that you're frustrated about, you can tell that too, like, yeah, because da 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 da. You can communicate what it goes down to. Communication. So communication is outside but also inside. So if you learn to communicate with yourself as well, then to understand yourself, then you can communicate outside how you feel. But it starts within again. So anger can be a blessing. Hopefully they can find that. I'm trying to show them that they're just, they love each other in a way. They still have feelings, and I hope that you in your life, if you have a similar situation, can learn that too. Maybe about your parents or whatever. And on that note, remember, we are gods. You have nothing to be afraid of. Until next time.